It's 93.9 WKYS, Angie Ange on your mic. And with me right now, the man of the hour. He's got this book that I can't wait to open, The Art and Science of Respect, a memoir by James Prince. We know him as Jay Prince. We know if you ever see Jay Prince, you probably seen Rap-A-Lot Records, Scarface, Devin the Dude, Bun B, you name it. Jay Prince, Jazz Prince. I mean, you know, hey, Jay Prince, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, yeah. What's up, DC? How you doing, Angie?
You know we like cousins, man. When it comes to H-Town and DC, it's like, you know, it's a special bond between us.
Tell me about it. DC been embracing Rap-A-Lot for a long time, like my #1 market for years.
I was going to say, me and Wale talk about that a lot. Like Houston and DC, we're like cousins. We're
First
like
cousins.
First cousins, literally. It should be like a little reunion. We should just like start having like a DC reunion down there.
Let's do it. That's why I'm here.
On James Prince Day. I know you got your own day in your hometown, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you know, when I first saw that you had written a book, I was excited because I was excited to hear your story, because we know you got, you know, over 20 years in this game.
Right.
And you've worked with so many different people, and you're so well respected, right? Like a lot of times when they say Jay Prince, it's like if he says it, it's done. Yeah. If he say gonna do it, he's gonna do it. Yeah. And so I was looking forward to it. And then when I saw the title, I thought this was dope, The Art and Science of Respect.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why you named it that, and just your journey as far as like just earning respect from people, pretty much everybody and anybody of all different walks of life.
Right. Well, I came up with that name because, you know, it's an art and a science to like conquering anything in life. You know, even where cooking is concerned. Even when you cook, it's an art and a science to cooking. And you know, the art side of things is, you know, is your mind, like dreaming, like imagining things. And then, you know, the scientific part is the knowledge and the numbers of accumulating or conquering that very thing that you was dreaming and imagining. So for me, the art and science of that, my life, summed up to respect, you know, something I value the most. And when I was analyzing my whole being, what meant, you know, close to the most in life to me, I couldn't run away or get away from the word respect. So I want to share that. I want to share that in many chapters in that book. You would see that word being like the foundation of everything, you know, because I believe in giving it, and then I demand it at the same time. So that's where that came from. Yeah.
Now, I assume respect, you know, before you get respect worldwide the way you have it, you got to have respect in your own backyard, your own community, and you come from the 5th Ward of Houston. So tell us a little bit about just how you grew up, how you came up, and how that took you from, again, like applying art and science of respect.
Yeah. 5th Ward, you know, I tell everybody I come from the mud, you know what I mean? In 5th Ward, you know, I couldn't be who I am today without, you know, 5th Ward and the surrounding of 5th Ward. It helped shape and mold my character to a certain extent, you know what I mean? The challenges that I had in 5th Ward, the fights that I had in 5th Ward, you know, all the combination of things, you know, like any athlete today that can run a football or dribble a basketball, you know, would tell you, you know, they couldn't be as competitive as they are. They wouldn't have ended up the way they are if it wasn't for people in the hood. So 5th Ward, you know, you have a 5th Ward in Washington, D.C., Chicago, you know, all around the world. And for me, it's a place that I love dearly, you know what I mean? And I show that by example.
Yeah. To a point where now, I mean, you have a community center, a boxing center in your ward?
Yeah. I built a recreation center in 5th Ward, you know, a boxing gym, full court basketball facility, because I wanted to be an example by my actions. Right. And, you know, I always wanted access to a boxing gym when I was a kid, and there wasn't one. So I had an opportunity once I made it to give back and give my friend, kids, and many others that opportunity to go and fight.
Nice. Yeah, because you do boxing management, right?
Oh yeah.
So where you was like, if that would have been your sport, it was boxing, like, just.
Oh yeah, I love boxing. Boxing was always my first love. I tell everybody I got distracted in the music game, but boxing was always my first love.
Well, that was a pretty good distraction, man. I mean, Rap-A-Lot goes down in history.
I ain't mad at it at all.
Wow, if this was like the second tier, I mean, sheesh, if they had that boxing gym when you were a kid.
Yeah, I'd probably be getting my head knocked off somewhere. Yeah.
Again, man, we got Jay Prince in the building. He's got a new book out that I highly suggest. I'm looking forward to reading it. You should too. The Art and Science of Respect. I liked how the foreword was done by Drake. Yeah. And I took a listen to it on your Instagram page, and Drake is one of those people. He gives you so much props, but he said it's just deeper than the business with you guys. That you guys have family, a family connection, a family bond. That you and your family did things for him that people may never really understand or relate to. Tell us about that.
Right. Well, my son discovered Drake, Jazz Prince. He brought him to me, played him for me. And I wasn't sold the first time I heard Drake.
Really?
So I tried to discourage him to a certain extent. I'm like, you sure you like this, man? This dude is singing all over the place. You know what I mean? He told me, Dad, he said, this the new sound. You know what I mean? And then he told me he's buzzing. So I taught him about a buzz since he was a kid, all throughout Rap-A-Lot. And my ears stuck up like a German Shepherd when he said he was buzzing. And from there, we brought Drake in, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to thank you for that, because Houston, Atlanta, Vegas was like prime time for me. Like I think I first got introduced to Drake. It was like right at the end of college for me. So when we heard him and he had this like Houston vibe, this is when. So I went to Howard. So all the folks from Houston, everything was chopped and screwed. Everything was like it was a different sound. And then when Drake had the mixtape that we were all bumping, a lot of it was Houston inspired.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So he was able to kind of get those seed things. I guess, was it one of those things where you guys just kind of exposed him to the culture, or he just was hanging out, Jazz was taking him around? And
well, what Jazz done, because Jazz was on tour with Lil Wayne by himself. And I called him up one day. I said, man, I don't want you just hanging out on tour coming back with no money. Get your artist. And Drake was his first artist, and he took Drake out there with him. I said, hey, Lil Wayne to put his arm around Drake on the stage. You know what I mean? Gave him directions, and ultimately, it blew up.
That's cool. Did you always want your son to be like? Did you think he would follow in your footsteps in that manner, or was it something? A lot of times I feel like people, when they get into the business or they get high up, they're like, oh, I don't want my kid to be in this field, or I don't want them to do this. Like, did you kind of coach him in the industry? Was it something he was like attracted to naturally? Yeah,
I didn't really have a preference. I don't have a preference on what any of them really want to do. I just support them on whatever their vision is or their dream. But I could clearly see the writing on the wall when he wanted to stop college and pursue, the music world. So I supported him.
Guess he made you pretty proud then.
Yeah,
You're impressed.
It's a good
He's done
feeling.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all.
Not mad at all.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to bring up too, speaking of just your book, The Art and Science of Respect, there was a time when I guess you got arrested, and the whole community came out in protest, and you talk about just the fact that we can, when it comes to uniting, people will unite around, especially a real one, like people will unite around it. Tell us a little bit about just, getting your community behind you, getting that community support.
Right.
Especially because a lot of artists and people in general, they always, especially with social media, they're looking for that big, like that big following or the big thing, not realizing that it's a lot of times it's in your own backyard. And when you're doing right by people, if someone doesn't do right by you, it's like your own people start to,
Well, that been
support.
That been like a law enforcement, from HPD to DEA, you know what I mean? All of them been on attack mode where I'm concerned for a long time, but, they was up against something that was bigger than me. And I always say, if God be for me, the world could be against me. So, you know, they had a somewhat of an impression in their mind that my movement was a D-boy movement, a dope movement. You know, people come up with all types of things in their mind when they want to stop a real movement.
Right.
And being from Fifth Ward, a special place like the Ward, you know, the love is really unending for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We call it unending love, circle of love. It's out of Fifth Ward. And, you know, they showed up by the busloads to protest a situation that I stood up for first, you know, because every time they plan an attack on me, I put it under the spotlight. You know what I mean? It's important. And I spoke about this in my book and real details, how important it is to not tuck your tail and run when you're in the right and police, DEA, or any of them are attacking you. And, you know, it really went deep where I was concerned because, you know, they put a hitman on me eventually. You know, it kept escalating all the way up until a man that had killed 8 people. They assigned him and spent millions of dollars to try and stop my movement, which is like real interesting because that was over a decade ago. And most recently, within a few weeks ago, the same DEA agents, FBI agents, reached out to me to assist them with this same individual that was attacking me. Now he's been indicted for like 13 cases. Wow. So you reap what you sow, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Jay Prince, man, I'm really looking forward to your book. Let me ask, do you go into detail just about the creation of Rap a Lot and how you started it? Again, adding art and science to create what you have. I mean, a little of it is imagination, right? You think, okay, I'm gonna do a label, or we're gonna help out artists from my own, from my neighborhood, from my home, and put the Houston rap scene on. To like, then you have to implement it, right? Then you have an actual business. You got to run it, like a business. Do you kind of go into detail about that? Yeah,
I go into a lot of details. I tell everybody, if I had this book, you know what I mean, when I started, I would have made so many more millions than what I was able. Yeah, this is like a blueprint to a whole lot of things, you know what I mean? And my blueprint was a special blueprint, that Master P, Cash Money, Tony Draper, all of them, so many more that won't, you know what I mean, say thank you. But, you know what I mean, it was a blueprint that worked. Yeah. So in this book, I detail, so many different things where the music game is concerned and real life situations are concerned as well. One of my favorite chapters in there is called The Biggest Deal I Ever Made. And the biggest deal I ever made was walking away from the game, walking away from the streets, you know what I mean, and committed myself to corporate America. Wow. If I don't make that move, then I'm dead or life sentence. So it have to be the biggest deal I ever made. Yeah. And, there's so many people that's in bondage, with situations like that. And the book is going to really be inspiring to those who can relate to situations like that. Absolutely.
And I'm curious, too, what did make you walk away from it? Because, again, I'm sure in the street it comes easier. It's what you know. And, again, the risk, of course, is very high, but you know it. You know what you're doing in it. So how did you come to, the conclusion of, okay, I'm going to go this corporate route? I mean, corporate, I'm sure it looked a lot different, than what you were used to. Did you have, that fear inside of you, or was one of those things where you're like, I'm going to face this fear and go for it? I mean, what was the feeling at that point?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because my fear was of God. You know what I mean? I always been a praying man. Any goal, anything I wanted to, go after, I prayed about it first. And in my book, when I explain the situation, one of the things, my whole journey in the streets, I say, Lord, give me a sign before you take my freedom or take my life. And he done just that. He had gave me many, but this certain one was one that convicted me. You know what I mean? And I knew it was real. I'm like, yeah, this is the one.
Right.
And it was so beautiful because in retrospect, he showed me if you hadn't jumped on this freedom train, then here's what was waiting on you.
Yeah.
So it was that real, you know.
Yeah. No, that sounds like that was a loud and clear message.
No.
You got it loud and clear.
Real clear.
We've been on the freedom train ever since.
Yeah.
And it's brought you here.
Ain't never looked back.
Ain't never looked back.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Well, Jake Prince, man, I appreciate just you sitting down and the time and effort. I mean, again, you have so much respect in the industry and just abroad everywhere, like people that know about you and know your contributions to hip hop. And even now, it's a legacy thing, right? What your son is doing as well. You know, I'm sure people will be interested to get in your head and find out, you know, what the blueprint is. And I appreciate that you say it is a blueprint that others of us can follow. What are your thoughts, you know, just in hip hop right now, the way things are moving? You know, it's different from rap a lot, right? You was out past, you got to like go hand in hand, and y'all probably had to come to DC and shake hands and meet with people and actually like face-to-face interaction, where now, you know, you upload it, boom.
Oh, yeah.
It's out there.
It's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? I tell everybody, if I had access to the power that they have today, I would be a monster, I would be a beast, you know what I mean? Because they can punch a button and do what I had to do like a half a year or something. Now you can punch a button and you're everywhere at one time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love what's taking place right now. I'm a part of it. You know what I mean? I'm even with my son, Jay. I have another son named Jay Prince. And he had a Rap-A-Lot New Wave, which, you know, we are partners with the new group YBN. It's a YBN, Lemire, Almighty J. You know what I mean? Movement. A lot of people don't know that, but that's us as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's what's up.
Yeah, I sit back and kind of watch from the sideline, but it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And of course, you know, I do have to ask as well about Drake and just your thoughts. Again, that's family. So, you know, I know how I am about my family, how my family is about me. You can't mess with family. So just seeing what you've seen, and I'm sure you've heard the back and forth between Drake and Pusha, like, you know, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, just in line with the art of science and respect? I mean, it seems like a lot of lines are being crossed as far as people feel, but at the same time, in hip-hop, lines like that always get crossed, and sometimes even worse when you listen to some battles from the 80s and the 90s. Right.
I hadn't heard one get so personal where mothers and different things concerned, you know, but I'm sure it has been done, but you know, my perspective of that is, you know, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? I feel like they, Pusha, Drake could have went at one another, just going at one another. You know what I mean? Like, I know his mom. I know his dad. You know what I mean? So I kind of view that as me and a guy having a fight. And then the guy see my mama, see my dad, and start beating up on my mom and daddy. And you know, I would have like a problem with that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't like that at all.
Do you think it's something that, like, is it one of those things where it's like everybody just stop right now, or is it like, do you have to keep going to the, you know, because it seems like, I mean, everyone kind of pushes that and roots it on, and you know, you have so much speculation. I feel like it just adds to the pressure where it's like, there's got to be another response, and then there's going to be a response to that. I mean, when does it stop, or how does it stop, you know?
Yeah, I think that's up to Drake. That's up to them, you know what I mean, how they want to do it. But, you know, I think that Pusha have gotten, you know what I mean, out of bounds. So, you know, I don't, you know, I'm going to have some conversations with Drake about it. But, you know, I wouldn't go in the pig pen with a hog. You know what I mean? I let hogs, you know what I mean, stay in the pig pen. Because you be a hog, you be a pig first, then you become a hog, and hogs get slaughtered. So I wouldn't become a hog.
And we're gonna leave it right there on that one. Yeah. That's the art and science of respect. You got to learn it. Get the book. Jay Prince, thank you so much for your time. Anything you want to say to your first cousins, aka the DMV, before I let you go?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, DC. I'm Angie Ange. It's beautiful watching you with that beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
And, I'm gonna be here a few days, so let's ball out.
Well, look, let's go to the go-go now. Did you get a chance to go see Backyard yet? I mean,
well, I need to learn some moves.
Right. Hey, look, all you got to do is just show up, man. You show up, and we gonna show love. You already know.
Well, there it is. I'm here.
Okay. Look, we got him for a couple days, so just be on the lookout. Look on our Instagram or something. You see us partying with Jay Prince. We in there. OG flow.
Oh, good.
Thank you, man. It's 93.9 WKYS. Get that book. And I got to get him to sign it. I need him to sign the book.
Oh, good.
Got to sign the book for me.
I got you.